FYF Sportsman, it's Lamont. We back with another video, man. Hey, before we get started with this video today, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to this video. Again, we drop these videos all the time. The only way you can stay up to date with the videos that we drop, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And again, we appreciate all of the subscribers thus far. I think we just surpassed 12K subscribers. Again, you know, the goal by December is 100K subscribers. You know, so the only way we get there, man, you guys really got to start actively engaging in this video. The more you guys engage, it's going to allow me to put out more content. But today we got a reaction video of sorts here. I just wanted to break down this particular conversation that I was actually a participant of on TicketTV yesterday. This conversation right here actually happened. This actually happened after the Lakers Game 3 win over the Houston Rockets. And the only reason why I really wanted to point this particular part of the conversation out is just primarily because of just how bad people actually analyze the game. You know, I feel like when you have one player in your sights and you just want to blame one player for something not going particularly well, I feel like you'll make up any particular narrative, or you'll even make up fictional things that didn't happen in the game to make it sound as if you're right, especially when you're on live stream. And so today, in this particular situation right here, we were speaking on Russell Westbrook, and I felt like Russell Westbrook played a pretty good game. He shot above 50%. He didn't take a lot of bad shots. He scored 30 points. He only had 3 turnovers. He came up big in the fourth quarter. It was really the others that really didn't show up in that fourth quarter. And this is a fourth quarter where the game was essentially pretty even going into the fourth quarter. And so in this particular conversation, you'll hear these guys trying to find a way to blame Russell Westbrook, especially with Russell Westbrook coming off of extremely poor Game 2 performance, where you could just essentially say he was the reason why they lost Game 2. But that was not the case in Game 3. So I just was trying to bring that to light. I really wanted to give credit to the Los Angeles Lakers defense, because those guys stepped up big time defensively. It wasn't because of Russell Westbrook. He was not taking bad shots. And we'll get to that later because we're going to break down the fourth quarter highlights. But before we do that, I just want you guys to hear this bit of the conversation, and then we'll actually go to the video of the fourth quarter. We'll break that video down as well so we can see what's real and what's fake. And again, this is the absolute way. This is exactly how you debunk people. You debunk them with facts, and you debunk them with video. You can replay the video, we can hear what they say, then we can actually go to the game video to debunk all of the myths, all of the lies, and all of the fake narratives that people try to push, especially when they're trying to just hate on one particular player. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with this video.
When a team see that shit, they only smell blood, Ticket. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing. That's why you think they kept Rondo in there. Rondo had more confidence than Russ, even though Russ had 30. But look how he had to get to 30. And if you play smart throughout the whole game, that 30 might be 45. You know what I mean? Like, half of those momentum, half of those drives, you killed their momentum by coming up, doing what you did in Game 2.
All right, now, so when he's speaking on momentum, he's saying that he's claiming that Russell Westbrook killed half of the Houston Rockets drives, whatever that means, by taking bad shots. Russell Westbrook shot over 50% this game. He shot 13 of 24, scored 30 points, only 3 turnovers. There was not a lot of bad shots. He didn't take a lot of threes. I think he maybe only took 2 or 3, but we'll look at those stats later on. And he stuck with his game, mid-range shots within the system, within the offense. But again, we'll get to the video later to debunk that right there. But again, that's lie number 1. This is by James Hayes. This is the J right here. Again, when you don't watch the game, when you don't understand the game, you end up blaming people that had nothing to do with what went wrong. You're just saying stuff just to be saying it. But again, we'll go to the video to debunk all of that later.
Jacking up unnecessary shots, they leaving you open. Instead of you coming up, you won't take it. Take a 2-dribble pull-up.
No, that's not what happened. The Lakers' defense in the fourth quarter was amazing. They cut off all those drives.
I'm not saying that.
Did you see AD's defense in the fourth quarter?
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
And so this is when I step in just to correct him. You know, it gets to a point when I start hearing so many things that are just being made up. I have to step in. I have to cut people off and say, look, this is not what went wrong for the Houston Rockets in the fourth quarter. For anybody who watched this game, you know that it wasn't because of bad shots. It wasn't because of bad decision making by Russell Westbrook. That was not the case. That's not just me saying it. When we go to the highlights, you'll see that yourself.
I'm not saying it.
It wasn't Houston. It was the Lakers defense that shut that shit down.
Don't forget Kuzma too. Kuzma was playing.
When they lock in on defense, can't nobody score on them easy. Their defense was crazy. Their defense was crazy in the fourth quarter. Like, I don't know why we're talking about Russ. That wasn't nothing the Houston Rockets could do about that defense.
Everybody that watched that game, Lamont, saw the beginning of the fourth quarter when Russell Westbrook came out there, missed the layup, falling out of bounds.
See, that's lie number one. See, this is by TicketTV. So he says at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Russell Westbrook missed the layup falling out of bounds. From what I recall, and this is why we're going to go to the video, he started off the fourth quarter hitting a three-point shot to start the fourth quarter. That's what I recall. Now, the only way we can prove that is by going to the video. But again, guys like TicketTV, guys like James Hayes, they'll say anything in the heat of the debate just to sound right. Because in the midst of this debate, we can't go to the video to show everyone the video to prove what actually happened. But again, this is why our channel is called FYF Debates. And again, we debate with facts. We don't go off the emotion. If we don't like a player, it doesn't matter if we like him or not. It's not emotional based. It's about facts. And the fact of the matter today is that Russell Westbrook played a great game. He played within the offense, and it was not his fault. He was not the reason why the Houston Rockets lost this game today. But again, we have lie number one. Russell Westbrook, he says that Russell Westbrook missed a layup falling out of bounds to start the fourth quarter. That's false. When we go to the game highlights, we're going to easily debunk that.
In the next possession, he went and jumped up again, threw it away, gave it right to the Lakers. Both possessions, the Lakers scored one. They scored a three. The other one, they scored a fast break layup.
Hey, 3 false statements in a row. It was not consecutive bad plays by Russell Westbrook. It was actually missed shots by others, guys like Eric Gordon, and turnovers by other players that created these runs. But this run by the Laker, which actually the Laker run did not start until I would say mid fourth quarter, not the beginning of the fourth quarter, as these guys claim. But we're just going to allow them to shoot themselves in the foot. Let's go ahead and hear more lies that they're just spewing in the midst of the debate to sound right. But like I said, we're going to debunk all of this when we go to the fourth quarter.
And then he came back down, missed a corner three wide open in the left-hand corner. That was a brick. He shot that short. Lakers got it again in transition, scored again, and then he came back down again and fell down and lost the ball when he was driving to the cup. They came back again and scored on that possession. It was a 10-point game. Mike D'Antoni called timeout. They never looked back.
See, when people can run off stuff like this in the midst of the debate, especially when they control the entire debate, they can sound right because they say it with so much conviction. But in all actuality, everything that TicketTV just said was false. This is not me saying it's false. When we go to the actual video of the fourth quarter highlights, that's going to show you it was false.
Like you said,
all you gotta do is watch the first. Listen, all you gotta do is listen. Come on, I dare you to do one thing. I dare you to watch the first 2 minutes. Hold on, I dare you to watch the first 2 minutes of
defense forces turnovers.
This game and the last game. Watch Russell Westbrook the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter.
He didn't have 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. He had 3 turnovers all game.
No, you're not hearing me. Yes, he did. The nigga had 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Lie number, 5 or 6 already? Russell Westbrook had 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. Now, when we run through these highlights, I want you guys to count how many turnovers Russell Westbrook had in the fourth quarter. Now, this highlights show everything. It shows all the turnovers the runs. I want you guys to count, not me. I want you guys to count how many turnovers Russell Westbrook had in the fourth quarter. All right. Now, he's already said that Russell Westbrook dracked up multiple threes early in the quarter. They were down 10. He called a timeout. That's when they bring James Harden back in the game when they're down 10. Again, that's another lie that we're going to debunk. Again, these guys, I mean, what they do is when you say things in the midst of the debate just to sound right, and then you dare me to go back. And the only reason I'm doing this, as you heard in the video, TicketTV said, I dare you to go back and watch the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. So that's what we're going to do. But again, these guys are going to continue to spew lies. I want to allow you to hear the multiple lies. And then once we hear all of the lies, we're going to break it down and debunk it with the video.
And he shot 3 bricks in the beginning of the fourth quarter. They all turned into points for the Lakers. They went up 10 points in the first 2 minutes.
That's what happens. Hold
on.
Turnovers and missed shots are created by good defense.
He says the Lakers went up 10 points in the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. I want you guys to listen to this stuff. The Lakers went up 10 points. You see, real basketball players, especially if you played on the higher level, you should be able to remember sequences in games. You should be able to remember when the runs actually happen. According to my recollection, these runs didn't happen until mid-fourth quarter, maybe around 6 minute mark or so. Not the beginning of the first quarter or the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Again, we're probably on lie number 10. Again, the video is going to debunk it all.
No,
the Lakers defense in the fourth quarter, that was great defense.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. Listen, I'm not saying that Lakers didn't play great defense. I'm saying Russell Westbrook was the one who did it.
That's what you got to think about too. James Harden got to step up, bro. He got to take that ball out of his hand like they want everybody else to do Russell. You see, he ain't doing it. So something ain't right with that dude, whole situation. All that superstars he have a chance to play with. It's like he killed or drive the momentum. Even when it was up by 1 and he hit that 3. Look at the next couple of possessions that he had behind that, man. I watched it. He done turned the ball over. He come down. He take another bad shot. And then before you know it, the Lakers done went on their fucking run and it's out of reach. You got James Harden sitting on the bench. When you come in the game, knowing you ain't start the full quarter, you got to be attacking. You can't be settling. You can't have no mind frame be down. That step back shit, get to the line and try to draw some fouls. Everything
he did try to drive. He got his shit beat twice.
Man, listen, that's why you got to pull up.
Hold on. Not only did Westbrook drive in the fourth quarter, but Westbrook actually hit tough shots. He was the only one to actually make plays and score buckets at the rim in the fourth quarter for the Rockets. He made a tough shot over Anthony Davis. And he cut to the basket when Eric Gordon was in trouble and had an easy bucket around the 4 minute mark. See, because I understand the game, because I remember runs, because I actually have basketball IQ, these are the things that I remember. So when people like James, people like TicketTV, when they just start ranting and raving and start saying stuff to appease the fans of the show, what you do is you find yourself lying about a whole sequence of events that never actually happened. And again, we're about to go to the fourth quarter highlights. And when we go to the fourth quarter highlights, you guys are going to see that everything that they've said about Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter is a lie. Everything they said about when James Harden came into the game when they're down 10 points is a lie. Again, these guys need to start doing their homework a little bit better because, again, the name of this channel is FYF Debates. What we do is we debunk people. We allow people to spew this stuff and we debunk it with facts.
Get in that mid-range game and pull up. That float and trying to get out with.
How do you pull up when you got lengthy athletes on you? It ain't as easy as what you make. And when they running traps at you the whole game.
Listen, first of all,
that's the Laker defense. That's great
Russell
defense.
Westbrook was missing those easy, but I listened to the man commentate the show.
Come on, man.
I listened to this dude commentate.
James Harden went 1 of 4 in the fourth quarter. Why? Great defense. He had one tough shot on a double team. That's the only shot he made. And he had to throw some bullshit up. They kept
James
throwing.
Harden came out tentative from jump. That nigga wasn't hitting. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to keep doing the same shit,
I'm talking about the fourth quarter.
Why not get to the basket and try to get a shot to go?
He did try to go to the basket, and he got his shit beat twice. He did try to go. He got his shit beat twice.
Listen, all right, what about the time he hit the floater? What about the time he missed the layup? He didn't get his shit beat twice then. You can't beat it every night, dog. Just because he got in there 2 times and got his shit beat twice, that means you're going to stop going?
James, you know how you think it's easy just to drive into them trees the Lakers got when you got AD down there?
Man, not when you got to spread out like that. Who's standing in the paint?
It's not spread out. How used to spread out? They double teamed him.
Who's clogging the paint for Houston playing small ball when they got everybody hanging around?
Did you watch the game, James, or did you just listen to did you watch it?
Listen,
because if you watched the game, the Lakers was flying all over the place. When guys was driving, they was flying in there.
I'm not trying to give no.
So what we're going to do here, man, is just because I'm tired of hearing the ranting and raving. I'm tired of hearing two people, James Hayes and TicketTV, act like they really understand this game of basketball. We've already heard enough lies. Now it's just time. What it's time to do now, what we're going to do is we're just going to go straight to the video of the fourth quarter so we can debunk all of these lies very quickly, and we can get to what really happened in the fourth quarter. All right, so here we are with the fourth quarter highlights. As you can see, the fourth quarter's just started. It's 84-82. It's 84-82. The Lakers are up 2 points going into the fourth quarter. So that's where we're going to start right there. So now, as we play these highlights, we're going to watch each sequence as it transpired, and we're going to see what led to the Laker run. And not only what led to the Laker run, we're going to try to identify what players missed timely shots, made these turnovers, which led to the Lakers being able to take off so far. So as to recap, we have TicketTV and James Hayes saying that Russell Westbrook took a lot of bad shots. He turned the ball over at the beginning of the fourth quarter. TicketTV says he chucked up some threes and missed them. He says that he drove in the lane recklessly wild, turned the ball over. Let's see if all of this happens. We're going to see who's the culprit, who's to blame for the Houston Rockets' fourth quarter woes against a great Laker defense.
Take the lead here, 84-82. There have been 15 ties, 15 lead changes now. Heck of a game 3 going on tonight. Top-seeded Lakers, the number 4 seed, the Rockets.
Well, we went from an offensive battle in the first half
to a deep from the floor, led by Lebron.
So we're going to stop it right there. So we just saw in the first minute of the fourth quarter, Russell Westbrook didn't turn over the ball. He didn't drive in recklessly and wild and turn the ball over. He starts the fourth quarter off by making a three-point shot. He didn't make these shots in garbage time. He didn't make them at the end of the fourth quarter. He starts the fourth quarter off by giving the Houston Rockets the lead by 1 point. To me, that's a great start. Being able to make, for a 9 3-point shooter, to make a three-pointer to start the fourth quarter off and give your team a lead, I think that's a great start for Russell Westbrook. Again, that's debunk number 1. TicketTV said he turned the ball over, drove in wild against Anthony Davis. Not for sure where he saw that or when that actually happened, but in this particular game, it didn't happen.
LeBron James's 4 block shots.
Russell Westbrook hits his second three-pointer of the game. He's 2 out of 3 from behind the arc. Shot clock down.
And as you heard the commentator just say, at this point in the game, Russell Westbrook is 2 of 3 from the three-point line. So he wasn't recklessly shooting threes. He actually shot threes that were open and very good shots. And up until this point in the game, he's 2 of 3 from the three-point line. That debunks another narrative where they say that Russell Westbrook was taking and missing threes. That's another lie.
Down to 2, LeBron. Bullet pass, extra pass. Kuzma can't get it off. And missing. Nice find. There's that extra pass. Another one. Covington for 3. No. LeBron's game 2 win. Kuzma disrupted by the equalizer in this one.
Well, that was a fantastic cut to catch it deep in the paint. Rondo with a nice pass. When LeBron is that active off the ball,
So far we've already seen in the first 2 minutes of the first quarter, it's not Russell Westbrook who's missed a shot. It's been Robert Covington missing a wide open three at the top of the key. And we have Eric Gordon taking a contested three, missing a contested three. Russell Westbrook hasn't missed any threes so far or turned the ball over. We're going on 3 minutes, close to 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. So I'm still waiting to see where we can find Russell Westbrook going crazy, turning the ball over, making bad plays, making bad shots. That's creating all of these big problems for the Houston Rockets. And at this point in time, we're at 9:43 on the clock. The Lakers are up 1 point, 86 to 85.
it's very hard to contain.
James had just 2 points in the third quarter, but he had 4 blocks in the third quarter, including that chase down at the end of the quarter. Rondo, he'll pull a three. And Rondo hits another one. Largest Lake.
Okay, so up until this point in time, Rondo just makes it 3. So that score is going to be 89 to 85, with the Lakers being up 4 points. At the 9:27 mark, this is when Mike D'Antoni calls the timeout, and this is when he reinserts James Harden back into the starting lineup. So it wasn't when the Rockets were down 10 points that Mike and D'Antoni decided to bring James Harden back to the game. They were only down 4. And being down 4 points with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter is not necessarily a bad thing. That's plenty of time to mount a comeback. All right, so we see what's developing here. And we've yet to see Russell Westbrook be the culprit of any of the problems. Rondo just hit a 3. That was Covington's assignment. He didn't get out there and D up. Russell Westbrook wasn't even on that side of the court, so he wasn't even responsible for Rondo hitting that 3-point shot, which we know that their scheme is to allow Rondo to shoot open threes while everybody else crashes. Rondo was just hot today, and he happened to make a lot of these threes that we're not used to seeing him hit. So again, we've already debunked half of the crazy things that TicketTV and James have already said about Russell Westbrook just by simply watching the video. But we're going to continue to watch the video to debunk everything that they've said about this game.
Laker lead tonight.
I like that adjustment. Our best player, let's put him back in the game.
I'll tell you, with Harden on the bench, with Tucker on the bench, the Lakers have been taking advantage in this series.
Great rotation there out of the double team on Harden. Marquise Morris rotates from corner to corner.
Okay, so 3 minutes into the fourth quarter, we see Russell Westbrook miss his first shot in the fourth quarter. He misses his first shot in the fourth quarter. It was with the shot clock running down. It was a mid-range shot. It was a very makeable shot. A turnaround fadeaway against a defender. Now, again, is it the best shot? Probably not. Could he have maybe attacked him, went into his chest? Maybe so. But at the end of the day, these are the shots he's been taking and making all day. You would just have to live with it.
To get to Russell Westbrook.
Boy, look at that Laker bench, that coaching staff on their feet. Here's LeBron, gives it up. Morris across court. Rondo just hit a 3. And
Rondo hits another 3. As we can see, not Russell Westbrook's assignment. It was Jeff Green late on the rotation. They allow Rondo to hit his second 3 of the fourth quarter.
He's got his third made 3 of the night.
Harden didn't get a steal
and we didn't see this play develop here, but on this steal by Rondo right here as he's scoring, this was actually a turnover by James Harden. Trying to go behind the back, Rondo was able to rip him, which is why we see James Harden contesting this particular layup unsuccessfully. But it was a turnover by James Harden. Again, we're at the 8-minute mark. The Lakers are now starting to grow the lead. But one of the most crucial turnovers of this fourth quarter was made by James Harden. We have yet to see a turnover by Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter. One of the most crucial turnovers was made by James Harden trying to go behind the back on the double team. Rondo was able to pick his pocket and get a layup.
Another Rondo bucket.
That's a 10-0 Laker run. He spins off Caruso, and James.
They need to get some stops here. James tries to post deep again. Gordon does a good job getting him off the lane.
Lebron, boy, tough shot, little fadeaway, no, and Green with a rebound.
This is Harden's chance to attack, is in transition before the defense gets set.
Rondo guarding Harden, and going to be a foul on.
Very much like Ernie Johnson, in that their impact, according to Frank Vogel, could be only measured in swag.
Nice. EJ will appreciate that. Westbrook.
Now, this is Westbrook's second missed shot. Now, what he's attacking the rim. He's looking to draw a foul. What did I say in the video? The Laker defense, their ability to wall up in the paint, makes it extremely hard for the Houston Rockets to drive on this particular defense. You can say that all of these shots, you can say that the game is so spread out. You can say that the Lakers are not guarding the interior, but at the end of the day, they had two defenders, Anthony Davis and Caruso, walled up in the paint, ready to defend any drives. So when you hear James and Ticket say, oh, they need to drive more, well, we see Russell Westbrook driving on two defenders unsuccessfully. And this right here was a bad shot. But this was the first bad shot by Russell Westbrook, and it wasn't until 7:37 in the fourth quarter, and they're not even down by 10 points yet. This is still a very close game. This game is not won by any particular measure, especially when we know the Rockets have the ability to take and make threes, 1 or 2 3-point shots. They're right back in this game, and it's a close game. So we know the Rockets, with their ability to shoot the ball, can erase this lead in a matter of seconds.
Comes up short. Rondo has the last 8 points for the Lakers. Markieff gives it right back to him. Now it's Caruso, and he buried. But a mile still.
Now the lead is 10 off a great pass from Rondo on Caruso. Once again, it's Jeff Green who's late on the rotation, and they allow a guy who's not a strong three-point shooter in Caruso to make a wide-open three-point shot. Once again, this is not Russell Westbrook's doing. So as we can see here, none of the turnovers, none of the bad defensive lapses or plays thus far were made by Russell Westbrook. Now, we saw him take 2 tough shots so far and miss them. But again, it was within the flow of the offense. And we've already seen a number of guys, Eric Gordon, Covington. We've seen all of these guys already miss 3-point shots. So it's not necessarily a big deal, primarily because the Houston Rockets, again, they take a lot of shots and they make a lot of shots, so they live with the misses.
For Rondo, and the Lakers have a 10-point lead. In game 2, the Lakers outscored the Rockets 27-17 in the fourth. And they're off to a great start here. There's a steal.
Now, we see another turnover. Now that the lead is at 10 points, we see another turnover. This turnover was made by who? It was made by Robert Covington at the 7-minute mark. All right, and he throws an errant pass over to the wing because the Lakers used their length not only to clutter the paint, but they used their length to play passing lanes as well. Anthony Davis was able to cover that gap and get a very easy steal. This is what I mean by the Laker defense was extremely stifling. Great ball pressure. They stopped the drive. They forced somebody into making a bad pass, and they came up with the steal. Give the Laker defense credit. Let's stop placing blame where it doesn't belong. Let's stop acting as if this loss was created or caused by Russell Westbrook, because that wasn't the problem this particular game. Again, you guys need to start being better basketball analysts, start understanding the game a little bit better. And as you can see by the video, because again, I'm only watching the video because TicketTV said, I dare you to watch the fourth quarter highlights. I'm watching the fourth quarter highlights, and what we see is that the culprit of a lot of these problems is not Russell Westbrook.
By Davis.
Well, their defense is stepping up. They've stepped up in the third quarter. It's continuing on here in the fourth. They've gone to double teaming Harden. Their defense off the ball has been active.
It was tied at 82 at the end of the third and making a 7-2.
So we've seen we've seen so far Jeff Green get scored on 3 times. He closed out late on 2 3-point shots, one by Rondo and one by Caruso. And one-on-one with Anthony Davis, he didn't get physical, and he allowed him to shoot one of his favorite shots, which was a turnaround fadeaway, and he easily made it. So far, Jeff Green has been the worst defender on the court. He's had 3 breakdowns defensively. All right. At worst, on that shot with Anthony Davis, you got to contest and foul him, make him miss it, and send him to the free throw line. And Jeff Green 3 times has played extremely bad defense, allowing this lead to grow.
This group on the floor for the Lakers, whether it be AD or LeBron, running with this particular group off the bench with Rondo and Morris, Kuzma, and Caruso, have been very effective so far in this series. Hit a big.
Another bad foul by Jeff Green. Again, it's starting to become a reoccurring thing with regards to the player who helped exacerbate all of the problems for the Houston Rockets. It's been Jeff Green, as we see a careless foul on Anthony Davis right there.
3, he's got 5. LeBron and AD carrying the heavy load, but this particular group has been excellent. Skip pass all the way to Morris. 3-pointer is up. No. Covington. Big bounce for them.
But the Rockets would rather live with Markieff Morris shooting the 3 than Anthony Davis in the post.
Nice pick.
Another reckless turnover. Who was the culprit of this particular turnover right here? We see Robert Covington drove wildly. He drove wildly. The Lakers are up 10. Again, with 6 minutes on the clock, this is not a foregone conclusion. With the Houston Rockets' ability to make threes, they can erase this lead in a matter of minutes. Robert Covington drives wildly, loses the ball. Anthony Davis steals it, and now they're in transition. The Lakers are the number 2 transition team in the NBA. When you allow them to get live ball steals like this and they can run in transition, the only thing that can happen is another score basket. So again, so far we've seen 2 turnovers by Robert Covington. We've seen 3 defensive breakdowns by Jeff Green. Okay, so I want to know, where can we place this 4th quarter collapse on Russell Westbrook, as TicketTV and James Hayes down here both claimed? Again, I don't see it. And now TicketTV asked me to watch the video. He said he dared me to watch the video. So we're watching the video together. And as you can see, these guys just spew a lot of stuff, but they don't spit facts. Again, this is when you try to appease a fan base just to try to sound right. And this is what happens. You get debunked.
By Caruso, knocked it out of the hands in transition. Rondo.
In the play of Rondo.
He's got 10 in the quarter, coach. Starting to steal the Rockets' spirit right here as Green little Euro step blocked by Kuzma.
Now, we see another terrible drive. Jeff Green is trying to drive on Anthony Davis and Kyle Kuzma. The Lakers are doing a great job at what? You know, James Hayes claimed that the Lakers need to do what? They need to start driving more because the Lakers aren't guarding or protecting the paint. Once again, we see that there are 2 Laker defenders down there in the paint. They do a great job of staying vertical. They do a great job of not leaving the ground. And this is who again? This is Jeff Green. Terrible drive with a terrible drive after a turnover. And now they give the ball back to the Lakers. And what are you doing again? You're creating another live ball turnover. Another live ball turnover, which does what? It puts the Lakers in transition. What do they do best in the NBA? They're one of the best teams in the NBA in what? Transition. This is where they thrive. All right. And so we're about to watch more highlights. Again, we've yet to find a way to place the blame on Russell Westbrook. And again, we're at the 5-minute mark. We're at the 5-minute mark. This is not a foregone conclusion for the Rockets. Again, we saw the Rockets score 40 points in the 3rd quarter in Game 2. We know they have the ability to score points in bunches. So, again, this is still not an insurmountable lead. But players, bench players like Jeff Green and Covington, guys who are inexperienced and really haven't played a lot of playoff basketball, they're making the multitude of mistakes here in the 4th quarter for the Houston Rockets. it's not Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not Russell Westbrook. So, again, we're just debunking the lies. We're going to go back to the video.
I told you Kuzma's defense has been much improved here in the bubble and certainly here in the playoffs. It's a big block right there. The 6th block of the game for the Lakers. Here's Davis. Can't convert.
Excuse me. So at this point in time, I want you guys to understand we're at the 5-minute mark. There's nothing that can happen during this point in time or even this play right here because Russell Westbrook is not even on the court. We got Robert Covington, Eric Gordon, James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Jeff Green. Russell Westbrook isn't even on the court. All right. So I just want to know where all these imaginary turnovers and bad shots that TicketTV and James Hayes claim Russell Westbrook was taken in the 4th quarter that cost Houston the game. Again, stay factual. I'm only watching this video because what did Ticket say in the video earlier? He said, Lamont, I dare you to go watch the 4th quarter. He said, I dare you to go watch the 4th quarter highlights. I'm watching the 4th quarter highlights, and all it's doing, it's debunking the lies that these guys tell to appease a specific fan base. Hey, he might be your favorite YouTuber. I'm just debunking the myth. Again, because, again, I watched the game. I break down the game, and my basketball IQ radar went off when they started saying all of these things that I know didn't happen in the 4th quarter.
25 points and a half here for the Rockets. This Laker defense, which carried them most of the year, has been outstanding in the second half.
Yeah, bad pass. Tucker had left the top.
Another bad pass. Who threw the bad pass? Well, being that Russell Westbrook isn't even on the court at this particular time, we can't blame Russell Westbrook. All right. If they settle down, make good passes, and get a good shot, they could cut this lead down to single digits with 5 minutes on the clock. PJ Tucker throws a bad pass out of bounds. Luckily, it wasn't a live ball turnover, and the Lakers had to go back into their half-court set. And now Russell Westbrook is actually back into the game now. So after that turnover, coach puts Russell Westbrook back into the game. Why? Because he's been one of your most efficient and best players of the night. He hasn't been turning the ball over. That's why.
Top seed. First time in 6 years Miami will go to the conference finals. Haven't seen a 5 seed go to the conference finals since Memphis did it in 2013. Here's Rondo on the take. Cannot score. Boy, Covington hit the floor hard.
And so did Anthony Davis. Both guys are down. Neither one get it up. We'll have a stoppage as soon as this possession finishes 4-on-4 here. We're going to have a whistle.
Now we see Russell Westbrook miss a three-pointer here. So he's 2 for 4 from the three-point line today, which puts him at 50%. This was actually an open 3 after we saw James Harden drive, because the Lakers do a great job of contesting drives, especially in the 4th quarter. They were able to seal that off. James Harden was not able to get that layup off. He swings it to Russell Westbrook. Again, now, because they've been stopped at the rim so much, all of the Rockets are hesitant to drive. But Russell Westbrook actually takes an open 3, one that he's been making all day today, and he just misses it short. I can't really say that's a bad play. I can't even say that's a play that's costing them the game because, again, right now, they're already down 11 points. All right, they're already down double-digit points. We just saw PJ Tucker turn over the ball. We've watched Jeff Green have multiple defensive lapses. We've watched Robert Covington turn the ball over twice. I've yet to see Russell Westbrook do anything that's been extremely detrimental to this team in the 4th quarter today.
Block shots, 4 of them by LeBron James.
James and Davis combining for 59 points tonight. That is higher than their average. And a little jab step, 3-pointer, no. Harden with a rebound. Rockets going to have to go fast here. They got plenty of time and plenty of firepower. But they know they've got to start scoring the basketball. Easier said than done here in the second half. Lakers running them off the 3-point line. Easy bucket in.
Westbrook with a layup. Could have easily forced a contested mid-range shot. He decided to kick it back out to Eric Gordon to reset. Eric Gordon drives, Russell Westbrook cuts to the basket and gets a wide open layup in the fourth quarter. So far, I've still yet to see anything that Russell Westbrook's done in the fourth quarter where we can say he's the reason why this fourth quarter got out of control for the Houston Rockets. Again, it's about staying factual. These two down here, again, when you like to just spew stuff and you have a narrative and you're just trying to blame one player for all of the problems of an entire team, this is what happens. You start to spew things that just were not factual. And again, for the fifth time, I'm telling you guys, I'm only watching the video because TicketTV said go back and watch the video. So we're watching the video.
James Harden, which he's seeing every time down the floor here.
LeBron James with 33. And 29 of those in the first half. Got Tucker on him. James patient spins and LeBron James.
PJ Tucker allows LeBron James to get to the paint easily. And then PJ Tucker's one of the best defenders on this particular team. One of the best defenders on this particular team. We know that LeBron James is not a very good fourth quarter free throw shooter. Understanding the scouting point right there means that you have to foul LeBron James in that particular situation and send him to the free throw line and make him earn it. So again, another situation where a player other than Russell Westbrook is just making an extreme blunder in the fourth quarter. PJ Tucker already with one turnover. Now he's allowed LeBron James to drive with no resistance. And if you understand the scouting report, you know that on all drives, especially when you're down, you have to foul LeBron James. He's not a very good free throw shooter in the fourth quarter. He's proven that throughout history. I still haven't seen all of these glaring mistakes by Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter as they claim.
I really don't understand tonight why the Rocket defense is not packing the paint. I think you've got to make them make some shots against you. We know LeBron James is going to make layups.
LeBron going to guard Harden here. Harden gets his own miss, and now that's the.
What did I tell you guys about that Laker defense? LeBron James taking away James Harden's left hand. The double team came. Harden had to give it up. The Lakers were ready to play that passing lane. I don't know what got into the Lakers in the fourth quarter, but they were extremely active on defense. And this is what presented a number of problems for the Houston Rockets.
Flush the lob. That was beautifully set up.
I was looking at James Harden getting ready to double team, and Green just cut right behind him. Harden made the right play again, but Green just missed the layup.
Rondo touch pass to Caldwell Pope. He's on the drive, and he's met at the rim by.
Now we see right here with 2:49 on the clock. Now again, we know the Rockets have the ability to make threes in bunches. They, if they can get stops and make threes, they can narrow this lead. Now with 2:49 on the clock, down 11 to the Lakers, you're probably going to lose the game. But when you're dealing with an offense as potent as the Houston Rockets, anything can happen. We see Russell Westbrook with a big stop at the rim on KCP. Great block, which gets Houston out into transition. Again, great block. This is the first great defensive play that I've seen in the fourth quarter. And the best defensive play by the Rockets that I've seen in the fourth quarter so far was by Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook, a block by Westbrook. Rockets getting desperate here. 2:42 remaining. Westbrook runs into Davis. Lakers are just all over every Rocket. Whoever has the ball, there's just nothing going on. And a tough bucket.
Russell Westbrook again. He initially drives instead of taking a tough shot against Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders in the league. He resets. He gets the ball back as the shot clock is winding down. He drives. Houston Rockets, they're not a cutting team, so he's left on an island by himself in the paint. So he has to take a tough fadeaway shot against Anthony Davis, and what does he do? He makes the shot. So far, we've seen Russell Westbrook make a three-pointer to start the fourth quarter. We've seen him get a timely defensive stop, and we just watched him make a tough tough shot over Anthony Davis. A much needed basket with putting the game within 10 points, or that now they're only down 10. Now, will they come back at this point in time? Probably not. But again, with their ability to make shots, anything can happen. And I've yet to see this fourth quarter filled with mistakes by Russell Westbrook that cost the Rockets the game in Game 3.
By Russell Westbrook. Wow.
Really difficult shot. Good defense by Anthony Davis. Good discipline staying down on the shot fake. Made Westbrook take a very difficult shot. These are NBA players, and sometimes even the toughest shots they're able to knock in.
Westbrook's got 26. Caldwell Pope comes up short. Offensive board.
Kuzma being very active off the ball here.
Green inside. James in regulation.
Well, Rondo left Green to go double team Harden. LeBron James, one of his few mistakes of the night, was late on the rotation. Tried to get the block, but he caught his hand, as you said, either in the net or on the rim.
Here goes James on the tack, and James is fouled by.
Here on this particular play right here, PJ Tucker actually fouls LeBron James. This is what you're supposed to do with LeBron James in the fourth quarter. And if I'm not mistaken, LeBron goes 1 or 2 from the free throw line. Again, these free throws add up. I'd rather give you 1 free throw than a layup, which gives you 2 points. All right? That's a 2-point swing. And if you find a way to make a number of threes, that could matter down the stretch. So this was the right play made by PJ Tucker.
But the Lakers' free throw shooting as a team, and James's free throw shooting in particular, is concerning when you get into close games in the playoffs. You're not always going to have a double.
Russell Westbrook looks like he's the only one in the fourth quarter actually attacking, and attacking with purpose. We have another drive. Again, another quick drive. Again, now the game's starting to become more and more out of reach for the Houston Rockets as time wanes because they're not getting any stops. You know, when you can't get stops in the fourth quarter, it's really going to eliminate your chances of winning the game. You can't trade buckets when you're down points. At the end of the day, it's still Russell Westbrook is still their most efficient player in the fourth quarter so far.
Lead going down the stretch, and this team has not shot free throws well.
Westbrook scores the layup. Lakers have missed 7 free throws tonight. Rockets have made all 12 of theirs. But the Lakers in control here as we approach the 1-minute mark. Rondo has been spectacular and a nice lead for Kuzma.
To have 12 attempts is a mark of great Laker defense.
Problems, back spasms. He didn't play in the 5 games in the series against Portland. And boy, he has had his best night of the playoffs thus far as Westbrook is fouled on.
You know, and as the video ends and we know what happens here, Westbrook actually drove and got fouled right there again. So that wasn't necessarily a bad shot because he actually goes to the free throw line. You know, but with 35 seconds on the clock, again, is the foregone conclusion. The Lakers lead. Again, they just traded 2 baskets too much. Turnovers by PJ Tucker, turnovers by Covington, turnovers by all of these other guys not named Russell Westbrook. You know, bad defensive collapses by players not named Russell Westbrook is what led to the Laker run and all of the success that they had in the fourth quarter in Game 3. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're just simply going to go to the stat sheet. We're going to look at Russell Westbrook's numbers for the game. All right, we're also going to look at his fourth quarter numbers as well, just to break that down again. But we already know we might not even do that. Russell Westbrook was 4-7 from the field in the fourth quarter. That's very decent percentage. He didn't have any turnovers in the fourth quarter. That was the other guys. And he made some of the best defensive plays for the Houston Rockets in the fourth quarter. So, again, it's just about debunking people. So, again, for whatever reason, if you have a narrative, if you're trying to make up excuses as to why you picked the wrong team, you know, you have guys like TicketTV and James who both claim that the Rockets were going to win this game. Now they're just trying to find a culprit. Russell Westbrook was the culprit for game 2. They're trying to make him out to be the culprit for Game 3. The numbers don't tell that. Not only do the numbers don't tell that, the video doesn't tell it either. But we're going to go ahead and get to the stats, and we're going to break down his total stats for the game. All right, so as you guys can see right here, we got Russell Westbrook's stats for the game. Russell Westbrook played 36 minutes. He shot 13 of 24 from the field, so he shot better than 50% from the field. That's highly efficient. Definitely, you know, he shot a very good percentage. Shot better than 50%. He shot 50% from the three-point line, making 2 of 4 from the three-point line. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with that. The man only had 3 turnovers on the day, 0 turnovers in the fourth quarter. So he ends the night with 30 points on 13 of 24 shooting, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. I don't see. I've just watched the fourth quarter. We've all watched it. I don't see Russell Westbrook doing these ridiculous drives to the basket. I didn't see him missing 3-pointers early on. He missed 1 in the fourth. You know, I really want to know what is Ticket and James talking about here. You know, what is the narrative they're trying to push? You know, why are they trying to make Russell Westbrook the culprit for the Game 3 loss? It didn't fall in the hands of Russell Westbrook. Again, you know what we do here at FYI. You know, FYI Sports, this is easy. This is our light work, y'all. We like to debunk people. When you come with fake facts, when you come with fake narratives, our job is to debunk you, set you straight. So when you come back, you know who you're debating. FYF Sports, man. And when we get into these live debates, you guys got to know we don't have the ability, you know, especially when you're not just your host. We don't have the ability to go in, pull up video and show everybody what really happened. You know, a lot of times these guys can just mute you and kick you out the chat, and then they could just spew whatever information and lead you to believe that they're right. This is why we're here at FYF Sports. This is why we produce our own videos. We put out our own media so you guys can have real news, not fake news. Hey, James Hayes Ticket, man, y'all just got to get your knowledge up on the game of basketball, man. You know, again, I've done this about 5 times now. Again, it's starting to become very easy to debunk you guys. And, you know, I don't necessarily blame you. You know, I know that you picked the Rockets to win this game. I know both of you guys picked the Rockets to win this game. So you had to find a culprit. You had to find a reason why Houston lost this game. But, you know, I also heard TicketTV in this particular chat. He said that Houston had control of the game in the fourth quarter. He said they never had control of the game in the fourth quarter. The Lakers owned the fourth quarter from start to finish. There was a point in time in the fourth quarter where the Rockets only have 25 points in the entire half. We saw them drop 40 in one half in game 2. What is that indicative of? That tells you right there that the Laker defense stepped up big time. That's all it is. And sometimes you just have to give credit where credit is due. Now, again, with me, Rondo had a bad game 1. I definitely called Rondo out for a bad game 1. He came back game 2 and game 3, and he's had 2 strong performances. That's what I expect from Rondo. Now, I initially never assumed he would perform that way. He just came back from hand surgery. I didn't know where his conditioning was. I didn't know if his timing was back right. But Rondo was able to get it back just like that. He was able to get it back just like that, and he's had 2 great games so far, and it looks like he's probably going to be the X factor. The Rockets don't have an answer for Rondo because he understands how to make the Rockets play a half-court game. The Rockets cannot speed Rondo up, and until they solve that particular problem, which I know they can't, they're probably going to lose this series in 5 or 6 games. I don't see it going to 7 like a lot of people claim it will. The Rockets don't have enough experience. They don't have adaptability. Their coach cannot make changes on the fly. It's been 3 games so far. They have not made any changes. They haven't made any lineup changes. They haven't made any rotation changes. They haven't made any defensive changes. They're still switching everything. And that's just making it easy for Frank Vogel to scheme against this team offensively and defensively. But you guys, let me know what you think about the video. You know, what do you think about the highlights that we saw? What do you think about the highlights that we saw? What do you think about Russell Westbrook? How did he play in the fourth quarter to you? Was he the reason why they lost this game? I saw something completely different. I'm not particularly sure what James and TicketTV saw. But again, they asked me to watch the footage. We watched the footage together. And by watching the footage together, it just it doesn't look as if they were entirely accurate about their account of the game. That's all. FYF Sportsman. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Again, our next goal, the next small goal, we're trying to get to 20K subscribers. You know, we got to grind. We got to make these small goals. Let's try to get there. We're at 12K subscribers now. Appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel. Appreciate everybody who's been donating. Appreciate everybody who's been buying the merch. We've surpassed 20 merchandise orders. So we're going to be doing that drawing for the trip to Las Vegas. So don't think we forgot about that as well. That drawing for the first 20 people who placed an order for our merchandise. That drawing is going to take place, I think, Wednesday of next week. We're going to try to live stream that day. So we're going to live stream. We're going to select a winner for somebody who purchased merch. And you're going to be winning that trip out to Vegas. FYF Sportsman, another great video.